Thank you. Many years ago, I had the privilege of being the MC at the Bikur Cholim dinner in Borough Park. And there was a packed crowd. It was on a Motzei Shabbos, and the Malav Malkus started at 8 o'clock at night, and it was just going on, and they honored every doctor at Maimonides Hospital. For those that, Rabbi Biberfeld, where are you? Mosey? Right? Those Malav Malkus have a way of going. Every doctor, even the nurses get honored. Everybody gets honored Maimonides because that's to ensure that when we, chas v'sholom, if we ever need it, that they service our Jewish brethren. And at 12 o'clock at night, the director walks over to me, and I said to him, it's time. It's already 4 hours. Everybody's sitting here. Can we end this? And he says, no, we can't, because we have this chazan who is very active in Bikur Cholim, and I need you to invite him up, and he should please do 2 songs. I said, are you crazy? It's 12 o'clock at night. Nobody's staying. So he said, no, you have to do this. So I got up on the podium and I said, and now, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, it is my honor to present Chazan so-and-so. I'm not going to mention his name. I still see him from time to time. And I'm going to invite the Chazan up to please be mahana us with 2 songs, and Chazan so-so. Could you do me a favor? When you finish, please close the lights. So I think they were trying to tell me something, that I think at this session, my job is to make sure the lights are out after we finish the session. I would like to acknowledge Hakaras HaTov. We all have to have Hakaras HaTov. I was privileged to have 2 giants who we talked about this Shabbos, Rav Noach Weinberg and Rav Meir Schuster, who both stayed numerous times in our house. Well, Rav Meir used to eat by us and sleep by the Friedmans, but Rav Noach stayed by us. And every Shabbos morning, of course, I heard his alarm clock, the cock-a-doodle-doo alarm clock that was heard across town. But I cannot tell you the effect that they both had on my family. My children seeing people like that who truly loved Klal Yisrael. And it's not the point of just loving Klal Yisrael. Reb Noach instilled a message, and he said, I asked him, why do you think people don't go out and don't help and bring their brethren closer? And he answered, because it doesn't hurt them. They see somebody drowning, they see how many people we're losing, and it just doesn't hurt. And if it doesn't hurt, you're not going to do anything about it. In concept, it's a great thing. But it has to hurt. It has to hurt when you see your neighbor that doesn't know what Tisha B'Av is. And it has to hurt. Because very simply, we say, Kol Yisrael yesh lehem chelik l'olam haba. Every Jew. It doesn't say, Kol Hungarian Jews have chelik l'olam haba. It doesn't say Hasidim have a chelik l'olam haba. It doesn't say Litvaks. It says Kol Yisrael. Every Jew. Regardless of where you're born, Orthodox, not Orthodox, whatever you are, you have a chelik. And we also believe in Kol Yisrael Arevim Zelazeh. And it doesn't say what kind of Jews. So we got to make up our mind. If it's true that it's Arevim Zelazeh, because otherwise your wife has to make Kiddush for herself. If that's the case, then it's got to hurt us. And if it doesn't hurt you, you got to ask yourself, why? Why doesn't it hurt? Why, when we see our brethren, doesn't it hurt? We had the most memorable Shabbos possible. I mean, this Shabbos was like over the top. It really was. The speeches, the people, the dignitaries that we had here, the Rabbonim, everybody here. It was so unique, from Judge Bernstein to the dedication to Rebbetzin Schuster. I mean, everything. And where do we go from here? I mean, I can't even think of anything that we missed, except some sleep. Did miss a lot of that. You know, coming up Friday night, 3 o'clock in the morning, is not something I want to do every week. But we have to think, why doesn't it hurt us? Why, when we see our neighbors, why doesn't it hurt us? And you know, the Rebbeinu Shalom gave us a great gift. And the great gift is called Shikha. We come from a levaya, a tragedy. It lasts 2 hours. We come and see our fellow Jews, and we just become oblivious to it. And we can't forget them. Because guess what? Without them, we ain't going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. Because till we get Klal Yisrael together, it's not going to happen. This Shabbos was dedicated by Edie and myself, L'Zecher Nishmas, Edie's brother, who died tragically a couple weeks ago. And he was a young man. But there's one thing you've never seen in your life. I've never seen a levaya like this that was set up in 2 seconds. And I would say there was between 500 and 1,000 people at that levaya. And the flow of people that came to pay a shiva call for a simple Jew. And he had this one midah of caring about people. There was nothing he wouldn't do for people in the shul, whether taking them to the airport. There was nothing he wouldn't do for his family, for his nephews, for his nieces. An unbelievable character. He was this big guy with a heart of gold. And I can't think of a more fitting cause and a more fitting Shabbos than dedicating the Shabbos in his memory. May his neshama be Meilus Yosef for Kol Klal Yisrael, and I know he's going to be pushing us and doing everything that he can. Yoni mentioned before the effect of all of this has on our children. At this point, I want to give our Koras HaTov for what Eisha Torah did for my children. When Eish became part of our life over 25 years ago, it just kept on growing and growing between my children, and now I see my grandchildren in the same respect. It makes us better people. It's not what we're giving them, it's what we're getting from them. Baruch Hashem, we have a lot of family, and I consider my family, because these are all people that grew up in our house, that today have children, 4 or 5. We have them in Philadelphia, New York, all over, and people that we still have a regular shaykhs with, people that came back to Klal Yisrael just on their own volition. And what a lesson when these people come and they came out of nowhere, and we learn from them. Because to them, like Reb Noach always said, to them, God is real. They didn't grow into it, they came to it. So God is a real factor in their life. And the betachin that he had, we had one of our boys that grew up in our house recently has a child that had, unfortunately, a very bad disease. And he decided to do a WhatsApp for this baby that people should say, tell him. We were all very affected by it. But one thing happened which was unreal, that he started a WhatsApp about people saying Tillim. And this WhatsApp grew into the hundreds of people that started saying Tillim, hundreds. And he calls me up because he couldn't believe all the encouragement that he was getting. And he said, you know, when I started becoming frum, nobody told me what a family we have. Nobody told me that people would be WhatsApping me from all over the world, saying Tillim for my baby. Well, Baruch Hashem, the baby's out of the hospital. Not well, but we got to a big major step. To Reb Noach, there was never such a thing as Kiruv. It wasn't about Kiruv. To Reb Noach, it was about Hatzalah, saving the Jewish people. That was his goal. To him, we had to see every day as if a train filled with Jews was on its way to Auschwitz. What wouldn't we do to save those Jews? What wouldn't we do? We wouldn't go up and down the cars and ask, oh, are you Orthodox? Are you this? Do you eat Chalav Yisrael? Does your wife wear sheitel? It wouldn't be a question. We'd go out and save everyone. And that was his mission. His mission was to save the Jewish people. You know what we don't realize? That from 1938 to 45, we lost 6 million Jews. Ladies and gentlemen, we lose 1 million Jews every year to assimilation. And I hate to say this, but we think that we won against the Nazis. The war is not over. We're losing 1 million children that totally, and you have to understand what the danger is. You know, some people think, oh, you know, we're going to take them and we're going to, you know, do daf yomi with them and that's going to be the end of it and they'll be fine. The answer is no. See, there are different parts of the world. The big bracha was, once upon a time, and in some places, where a guy didn't want to have anything to do with a Jew. I remember I had people that worked for me, and they came from Europe, and one of them came from South Africa, and he used to not understand how the other Jewish workers who were secular, how they date non-Jewish girls. And he would tell me. He was from Belgium, and the other guy was from Johannesburg, and he used to tell me, you know, they wouldn't date us. We used to go to college, they would have nothing to do with us. Here in America, unfortunately, with Reform Jewry and everything else, the dangers that we have here, is just the opposite. The Italians in my office tell me their mothers want them to find a Jewish husband, because Jewish boys make very good husbands. Recently, you know, we have 1 million by us in shul, in the office, and I was concerned because the way the calendar came out, and I said to one of my guys, did you have 1 million every day? Because it was before Yom Tov, before Sukkot. So he says, yep, we had 1 million. How did you have 1 million? I don't count that there was 1 million guys here. So he says to me, simple, I called in Jonathan Wiener. I said, are you crazy? Jonathan Wiener's mother is Roman Catholic. He says, I figured his name is Wiener. What can be more Jewish than the name Jonathan Wiener? Which goes exactly to what you said, Yoni. We're living in a society that in a couple of years we'll never know who's Jewish. Because you know that there's people out there that think if there's any side is Jewish, that makes you Jewish. And if you eat kishka, for sure you're Jewish. And if you eat gala, then you're crazy Jewish. Rabbi Say, we have people that are here dedicating their lives to continue the work of Eshet Torah. Rabbi Stephen Berg, who's been phenomenal in reviving Aish Torah. He's brought us back. He's brought all the commitments back. He's brought the people back, together with the generosity. Together with the generosity of the Heitman and Dan families. I mean, we can't let these people down. We really can't. I know as we all leave here today, we're all going to make two commitments. Two commitments. One is kiruv, that we're all going to get involved, and the second is going to be about diet. We don't want to break both of them. Okay? So let's make sure at least our commitment for kiruv will stay. Because after all, Pesach is around the corner. Why would you start a diet now? And right after Pesach is, of course, there's a birthday or anniversary, and we got time to really start that diet after Tisha B'Av. It's perfect time, the day after a fast, to start the diet. So please, let's focus on changing the world. That was Reb Noach's dream, to change the world and to wake the sleeping giant. We are the sleeping giants. We are the people that can make this happen. It's impossible to let things go on the way they are right now. We have such a dedicated staff at Project Inspire. I mean, I can only say one thing, Rabbi Sampson and company. There's so many people to mention. I must mention one person who never gets mentioned because he's always down on the totem pole. Not Mordechai Trapp gets in, and then we finish. But Yaakov Ginniger, is the sleeping giant in Project Inspire. He's the man that really does everything. And I want to just give him a call out. And that's besides Yossi. Yossi is unbelievable. He's on top of every single thing you can think of. Yossi Friedman. You know, weekends like this are often imitated. But a weekend like this can never be replicated. And I thank the whole staff and the whole team for giving us this unbelievable, memorable weekend, Shabbos, that was unbelievable. The speakers, Diane Abraham, YY, I mean, it's just something that will live within us for a long time. And Steve Berg, my message to you is, keep on driving the bus. We all need a leader. Thank you so much, and drive safely.